The advocacy is never over. We are not out of the woods yet.
Parce que d'abord, il réunit vraiment une communauté de gens du monde entier qui sont passionnés par ce sujet. Et j'en étais revenu en me disant, je suis pas seul.
And I think that creates a really rich environment for collaboration and from learning from each other.
We like to think of them as agents of change, or sometimes refer to them as having almost these superhero powers.
To go to the visualizations, but we need to go beyond that.
That also believe in change in the legal world and that are not satisfied with the status quo.
We attract more people, there's a growing need, people are becoming aware of the value that legal design can bring.
The future of legal design is to really embrace technology.
If we see that we can do something better and faster and free up our own time, that's a huge difference maker, right?
My name is ANGELICA FLECHAS. I am from Colombia. I am 36 years old. I am a lawyer and a designer, and I am the founder of Haptica, which is a service design consultancy agency, and we also do legal service design in Colombia, Mexico, and Chile. We are doing this because we identify that in every single service there are legal touch points, and also we should be designing those because those are maybe the obstacles that are affecting the final user of the service.
Bonjour, my name is Laura Hartman. I am a general counsel and senior legal designer, and I work in healthcare in near Melbourne in Australia. My journey with legal design started about 3 years ago while I was on maternity leave with my daughter, and I became very interested in the work of Astrid Kollmeyer and Stefania Facera, and I decided to study some units at university about contract design and about service design, and I've been implementing what I've learnt in my practice ever since. I've also been lucky enough to work for 1 year as a senior legal designer with Inkling Legal Design in Australia, doing a lot of contract redesign work and also plain language resources for in-house lawyers.
Hi, I'm Stefania Passera. I'm the founder of Passera Design, based here in Helsinki. We are redesigning contracts and other legal information to be more user-friendly, clearer, relevant for everyone involved. And I'm not a lawyer, I'm a designer. I've been keeping up with this work for the past 15 years. I guess I like this type of work. I love legal design because it offers me a challenge.
Hello, I'm Alona Lobganova. I am Head of Innovation at McKinsey Legal, and I also am one of the leads of our technology legal team. I'm interested in legal design because it's really a way to reimagine what we do as lawyers in our profession and a way to do what we do better. And not just for ourselves, but it's about client centricity and really thinking about a way to deliver our services in a newer, more refreshed, and overall better way.
Besides my day job as a consultancy entrepreneur, I am a lecturer at the Haptica Center on the Legal Profession, only for legal design, and I am also co-founder of the non-profit organization Liquid Legal Institute. It's a global legal think tank.
La direction juridique d'Ubisoft, qui est une entreprise française, qui est un des leaders mondiaux du jeu vidéo. Et l'équipe innovation, on a une mission assez large à l'intérieur de l'équipe juridique qui est d'accompagner la transformation de l'équipe juridique et d'aider l'équipe juridique à explorer des nouveaux territoires, que ce soit par des sujets, des outils ou de nouvelles manières de produire des contenus.
I have been working for the Ministry of the Interior in Finland during the last 3.5 years in the Department of Immigration. So I have been part of designing many public policies related to immigration. And I thought it could be great to come here to share with others what a designer can do in the public sector, especially a service designer. And in addition to that, I have a podcast on social design, and I have been interviewing a lot of designers and lawyers working for the access to justice. So the topic of legal design is something that I have been exploring and investigating through the podcast in Spanish and Portuguese. The podcast is mainly in Spanish and Portuguese, and through my work as a service designer in the Ministry of the Interior.
So my name's Emily and I'm a senior design strategist at Portable, which is a research and design agency based in Australia. And we work across a number of social impact areas, including justice. And we go out proactively seeking areas of social need and policy failure and use design and technology to make transformational change in those areas. I was drawn to Portable because of the work that they do in justice. They've been operating in the space since 2012. And for me, I've always believed in using law as a tool for social change, and I believe that law can be designed in such a way that it makes it more accessible for folks to use law as a tool rather than something that is shiny and scary.
My name's Hamza Khan. I'm a program manager at the Chancery Lane project, or TCLP for short. TCLP is the world's largest network of lawyers, business leaders, industry professionals who have come together to use climate contracting as a way to decarbonise their contracts and their businesses, as well as mitigate risks and maximise opportunities in relation to climate change. I think legal design is really important because climate contracting is a really new, innovative and a relatively untapped and novel tool in the legal response to the climate crisis. And what that effectively translates into is new concepts that are relatively difficult to understand and also new to the market.
The focus, because many events where we talk about legal design are just about anything else, and then just a little bit of legal design. This is 100% legal design.
C'est un événement que je trouve vraiment très intéressant. Il est assez unique pour moi au niveau de l'écosystème, parce que d'abord il réunit vraiment une communauté de gens du monde entier qui sont passionnés par ce sujet.
For me, it's really the power of community, because I've been doing these things for a very long time, and for many years of this very long time I was very alone. I was speaking into the void and seeing 600 people being enthusiastic, going back to how many countries? Was like 30, 50 plus countries.
It was mind-blowing that I meet so many others like-minded persons that also believe in change in the legal world and that are not satisfied with the status quo.
Moi en 2019, c'est l'effet que ça m'avait fait. Je commençais vraiment juste mes fonctions chez Ubisoft et la création de cette équipe d'innovation. Et 7 ou 8 mois après, donc je suis venu ici et j'en étais revenu en me disant je suis pas seul. En fait, on est un certain nombre dans le monde à penser que ce sujet permet d'être vraiment quelque chose qui est un pivot pour faire évoluer le travail des équipes juridiques.
It's really a playground for testing out not just what we are, but what we can be.
It's multidisciplinary, so we have in-house lawyers like myself, academics, and people working as legal designers as well as students. And I think that creates a really rich environment for collaboration and from learning from each other. Because I think the thing about design is that by its very nature, it arises from having dialogue and from speaking and understanding different perspectives and having empathy.
Conferences like this enable the community to come together and share ideas and grow and develop. There are other opportunities for us to come together and finesse those ideas about what legal design is.
And the power of the Legal Design Summit, it's bringing together beautiful minds, thinking about our problem statements, framing our problem statements, and then thinking about how we can make our whole profession and the way that we practice so much better.
So that's why I think the Legal Design Summit, also in the 4th edition right now, again had shown that it has such a power to influence the legal industry.
Et les gens, même s'ils ne se connaissent pas directement, ont envie de se rencontrer et de partager.
And so the Legal Design Summit really provides an incubator for those conversations to happen in ways that they wouldn't happen out in the real world, I guess.
I found out about a lot of people who are doing a lot of things around the globe, and I think it's an inspiration. Because if you're a beginner, you identify that you can do a lot, and if you're already doing something with this, you identify that there is more people working in that field, and maybe you can do some partnerships in a different part of the world.
If I have to say one word, it's energy, special energy.
Et je trouve qu'il y a la même énergie cette année, avec une maturité qui est beaucoup plus forte. On sent que les discours sont beaucoup plus affirmés.
I think the Legal Design Summit is really critical for driving the momentum and the understanding of legal design, and for those who aren't as experienced in legal design to understand its potential for incorporating into their own practice. Talking about the status of legal design across the world, I think its understanding and acceptance very much depends on where you are in the world. For example, I know in Europe it's quite a mature field and it is well recognised. It's incorporated as a really important part of legal practice. But in countries where, like Australia, where I'm from, it is less well known, and we do have to still fight to make our case that legal design is a really integral part of our practice.
I needed to create the market in Colombia to make them understand what it was necessary to make it easier for the rest of the world to understand the legal word, right? But now, every time that I have a conversation with a lawyer or with a law firm or with a legal department inside of a company, for them it's really valuable to introduce legal design or legal service design, which is my field, in their daily basis. So now it's more common to have that conversation. Now they see it as a value in the market. And of course, if I have that conversation here in Europe, it's easier. In Latin America, we're still a little behind.
On one side, I'm very hopeful and enthusiastic because legal design is starting to achieve a critical mass of people talking about it, reflecting about it, discussing, sharing. And on the other side, to be honest, I know that this is disappointing, but the advocacy is never over. We are not out of the woods yet. It feels amazing for us that there's 600 people talking about this, but still so many designers, lawyers, administrators, civil servants, they don't have a clue of what we're talking about, or if they're already practicing it in some way, they may not call it legal design. So the advocacy work is never done. We have to talk about it. We have to get people involved. We have to clarify things. There has to be dialogue. But I am hopeful about it. For example, in France, Ubisoft, their legal department is implementing on a day-to-day basis.
Alors je pense qu'on a changé de période. On n'est plus au début effectivement où le sujet était tellement émergent et exotique, on va dire, qu'il fallait déjà simplement convaincre du fait qu'il existait. Il y a un effet de mode depuis quelques temps autour de ce sujet qui fait que beaucoup de gens en parlent. Par contre, je pense qu'on est encore au moment où on doit convaincre parce que il y a quand même aussi un certain nombre de mythes autour du design. On continue parfois à avoir une vision trop accessoire, hein, quelque chose qu'on continue à voir en fait des choses où on est un peu c'est la cerise sur le gâteau et c'est pas quelque chose vraiment qui va fondamentalement changer les choses. Donc je pense qu'on est encore dans cette phase où il faut convaincre, expliquer et démontrer l'intérêt et la réalité du rôle du design pour les métiers du droit.
It's like the easy peak, as someone has said today in the morning, to go to the visualizations, but we need to go beyond that and also see how we can really impact strategically.
What we'll start to see as we attract more people, there's a growing need, people are becoming aware of the value that legal design can bring.
I think legal design proves its value when we see a return on investment. And when it comes to lawyers doing our work, if we see that we can do something better and faster and free up our own time, that's a huge difference maker, right? And I think legal design can do that for us.
So I think in terms of the legal design movement, it provides lawyers to be those agents of change. It equips them with the tools needed to ensure that they're not going to get left behind, whether that's on their client side or the interests of their company. And I do think legal design is one of those cases where if you don't put the work in now, you're going to get left behind and people are going to get right in front of you, and you're going to be a little bit annoyed at yourself that you didn't upskill it on the start.
In my opinion, one way to make legal design and legitimize legal design is by making it, is by really implementing it, because we need the real cases and the evaluation of these real cases in order to demonstrate its validity. So we are never going to go out of that.
Là, on a vraiment changé de période, c'est que les professionnels ou les gens qui sont vraiment impliqués là-dedans ont maintenant 2, 3 ans, 4 ans, 5 ans d'expérience. Ils peuvent partager des choses beaucoup plus concrètes, des évaluations aussi, des impacts, et aussi vraiment affirmer on va dire les bonnes pratiques et puis peut-être des choses qui sont des moins bonnes pratiques. Donc je pense que le niveau de maturité de la communauté est beaucoup plus fort. Par contre, le fait de devoir convaincre, on va dire, le reste de l'écosystème, je pense que ça reste encore un terrain à conquérir. Alors, je pense que le futur de cette pratique va tourner quand même beaucoup autour du fait de continuer à aller vers des choses plus systémiques, plus organisationnelles et pas de se focaliser uniquement sur la facilitation graphique ou des choses comme ça, même si ça reste très important.
What I think we'll also see is that legal design has focused on design thinking predominantly, but design is much more broader than design thinking. There are a number of other design methodologies that we can learn from: speculative design, transition design, and thinking right from information design right through to sort of design of systems. I think legal design is definitely on course to grow and expand, not only here in Europe but across the world as well.
Je pense aussi que, et nous c'est en particulier un des paris qu'on fait, que ces approches et cette vision, cet état d'esprit du design peut vraiment aider à se projeter dans le futur. Et nous, c'est ce qu'on essaye de commencer à faire. On est vraiment au début de ce parcours, d'utiliser des méthodes, par exemple celle du design fiction, du design spéculatif, pour aider les professionnels du droit à se projeter dans un futur. Par exemple, ça peut être autour des sujets de l'IA, évidemment, puisqu'en ce moment on en parle beaucoup. Et comme c'est un sujet qui engendre pas mal de mythes, de peurs, d'anxiété, d'enthousiasme aussi, utiliser ces méthodes pour favoriser un débat et des discussions, je pense que ça peut être assez utile.
The future of legal design is to really embrace technology, because right now we are embracing the mindset, So now we're using the method. We know how it works. We know that we have to connect with the final user. We know that we have to connect with other departments inside of the organization, because lawyers have been at this side of the desk, and now they are going outside of the desk and having conversations with marketing and HR and logistics, and knowing that they should be part of their business. So that is really important. But now they have to embrace technology and make it more efficient, their daily works. So that is going to happen.
You can't turn around these days without hearing about artificial intelligence and its potential benefits for in-house counsel, and I think that's extremely true. I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can harness the power of AI to improve our in-house practice.
I love this question. I think when it comes to AI and the future of lawyering and the implementation of generative AI and related technologies, I think legal design comes in really in the training aspect. And I think in order to use generative AI very well and effectively, we have to be excellent designers. And designers meaning we have to be really good prompt engineers, and we have to be able to construct the question in a way that gives us the right sort of output. And that's where designing and creative engineering, in terms of the way that we identify and practice, that's where it really comes in, because the value that we get in terms of the output is directly related to that input, and that input has to be honed, it has to be trained, and it has to be practiced.
The other thing I think is that the more we are focusing on the technical, the technological, the specialistic, the more we have to double down on the humans, on the human factor. You can't design good technology or understand its personal, societal, socio-technical impact without understanding humans. You know, technology is holding up a mirror or a black mirror to us. So the more we want to understand that and use it for us and not be used by technology, the more we need to understand that. So the legal profession is evolving, tech is coming. I think it's important for you, for me, for everyone in this field to really double down on the human.
We have to promote more collaborations between designers, strategic senior designers and lawyers, and not only believe that by training lawyers in kind of a superficial design we are going to make it. I think it's very important, the training of law people, but I also think this is only like for opening the door, and then what it has to happen is a real dialogue in the making, is working together every day, because if we are going to use new technology, if we are going to implement more humanistic perspectives into the use of this technology, we don't need only like a superficial way of understanding design, but we need to do it together from the very creation of the concepts.
When it comes to the future of legal design, we definitely have to talk about tech and AI. I want to start with a myth that often innovation in law is connected with tech. And it was also in the last years that if you asked a lawyer, if you want to innovate, what do you do? Then it's in 99% of all cases that they just say, yeah, we have to buy in some legal tech tools or whatever. Now that we are in the times of AI, that probably is more at the peak and is also still developing. But when it comes to legal design, we have a combination to make, because legal design is a toolkit for problem finding and problem solving. And when critical persons come to me and say, oh, probably we will not need legal design or legal tech anymore because we will have to deal with AI, then I will say, yes, but AI is only as good as the data that an AI system is using. And if you do not know what problem you have to solve, then even the best AI will not help you to solve a problem.
It's very easy for in-house counsel to try and purchase a piece of technology without properly understanding the process or the document that technology is going to sit within or augment.
That's why I think the role of legal design will even increase in the era of AI.
We know that across the globe, in-house teams are consistently being asked to do more with less budget, and that means that employing technology is really important, but designing the pathway by which that technology makes its way into our teams and employing really strong service design is going to be absolutely critical as part of our evolution and our progression.
In university there are many diplomas, even outside of university, like so professional courses equipping people to deal and learn and engage profitably with tech and design. I'm teaching in 2 of them, one in English, one in Italian, and I'm sure they're gonna pop up like mushrooms all over the world.
my strong feeling is that within 3 to 5 years, if you're an in-house counsel who doesn't know basic design principles or basic design methodologies, you simply won't be successful in your practice. I think it's really going to become a core, expected basic skill to have.
When it comes to legal design, I would just say be proactive. I think the biggest opportunity that we can take as lawyers is to think about what we want from a human-centric perspective. We should take our own advice and really put our humanity at the center of our own practice. And legal design can really help us do that. And especially now with generative AI and assistive technologies, if we have more time, we can do a better job getting better at everything that we do.
Mon message à l'ensemble des juristes français, c'est de ne pas hésiter à se tourner vers des sujets comme le legal design qui peuvent paraître parfois un peu exotiques, un peu en dehors de la vision traditionnelle du métier. Ça peut apporter vraiment, leur apporter vraiment une respiration, une bouffée d'air, je trouve, dans leur pratique.
Get out there, start experimenting, be brave, be bold, and give it a go.
There's not a lot of cross-fertilisation of ideas. I think legal design provides an opportunity to be collaborative, not only within your own organisations.
French lawyers, I have the recommendation, integrate as many legal designers as you can or become a legal designer yourself.
My message for French in-house counsel is to just start doing legal design. Don't wait until you've studied it. Don't wait until you have huge support. Just pick a small project and start today. Even if it's something as simple as taking a colleague for a coffee so that you can understand their side of the business.
It's not only a professional advantage, it's something that allows you to develop personally as well.
Mes amis français, vive la legal design révolution!